All right. So let's go over the first lab. So you'll open this first lab. And I have actually already provided an introduction to this lab, so that is extra. And I would go back to the Zoom that we've done today or tonight, because that will give you everything there. If you have a question with the lab, there's a discussion board. Say, ask somebody how they've done it. I have even provided you a very good example of this first laboratory write-up. So it's got what I'm looking for this lab. And when you click on the submittal, this is where you would upload your laboratory memo. But in here, it has a lot of extra information about this one. It's got the link in the class resources where you can get either the Google Docs or the Microsoft Word template. It's also got the link to where you can get the video analysis software. There's going to go back to reviewing our laboratory on instructions. You have 2 data sets, and this is going to step through how many graphs you need to do. And again, I'm going to walk you through those here in just a second. Then open up this data set number 2. And that one, what you're going to have is you're going to have 4 data sets. You can either give me 4 graphs or you can give me 8 graphs. I'm not picky about it. But what you're trying to do is you're trying to find that acceleration due to gravity. Okay, you're trying to find that acceleration due to gravity. Then you're going to do a video analysis on the baseball shot, and I will show you that. But when you are doing your discussion, I'm looking for, when I'm grading the laboratory, I'm looking at, did you perform the task? Sometimes Mother Nature isn't fair and things go haywire, and I'm aware of that. But you also have the grading rubric that you can open up and see exactly how the lab is going to be graded. I'm looking at, can you draw conclusions from your results? Can you explain maybe what went wrong, what went well? How would you do it differently? All of that are there. Now, sometimes I'll be using the same rubric on a lot of different labs. And sometimes what's going to happen is, for example, you may or may not have a graph. Just because this says inadequate or missing, if there wasn't a graph that was required, you're going to get the full points in that lab for that. I'm not going to penalize you for not having a graph when a graph wasn't required for that particular lab. But you do have that rubric. Somebody's come up in the chat. Oh, all right. So still. I think we got it. All right. So we've got that there. Okay, so how to approach this lab? And I've given one of the things in the old Blackboard, you could only upload a file once. Now I've given you 5 attempts. So say you uploaded the wrong file. Now you can upload it again. You should be able to upload it more than once. And if for any reason you've lost all 5 chances, or your computer's not working, you can always email me your lab report. Just be aware that you might get an automatic 0 for the due date, but I will go in and fix it if you have the email. If you've sent it to me email, you just may need to remind me that you've got it. So what you'll do is you're going to open up the data set, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. and you're going to want to download the data. So there is your download key. So you'll download the data because it doesn't look like this is an Excel spreadsheet, but it is an Excel spreadsheet. So you'll see there's 3 data sets on top and 2 data sets there. And then for the data set number 2, this is determining the acceleration due to gravity from a planetary body. And you'll see 4 data sets. Again, you'll download your data and the other 2 data sets over here. But this table right there are known accelerations due to gravity for, some of them are moons, some of them are extra planets, some of them are planets in our solar system. But your objective is to, from this data, to be able to tell me which one of these that data correlates to. So you'll do that plot, you'll determine the acceleration due to gravity, and we'll talk through that here in just a second, so don't panic. And you'll get that, but here is the download button. So I'm going to open up a sample data set that's very similar to the data that you've got. And I want to make sure that you all are seeing. Everybody see an Excel spreadsheet? Can I have a thumbs up if you're seeing an Excel spreadsheet? All right, cool. I did this earlier today and I was sharing the application and not the screen. And so I talked all the way through it and they were going, well, we didn't see anything. Well, say something. All right, so we're going to do a position time plot. So I'm going to do this. So I've highlighted the data with my mouse. You'll go to the insert on your Excel ribbon. Google Sheets works very similar. And we're going to insert a scatter plot and we're going to plot the data. So here is the plot of our data. You have 2 sets of data that are very similar to this. This is my position and this is my time. What I want you to do after you get your plot is imagine this to be a toy car. Imagine this to be a person walking down the road. I want you to describe the motion of what the object is doing. So for example, we're starting at a point that's -4 meters from the origin. So I'm starting 4 meters away from the curb. And I'm going to walk steadily, because I've got a straight line, until I reach a position that's 10 meters on the other side of the origin. Well, and I'm going to get to this point here. So I'm at 10 meters on the other side of the origin, and maybe I have to wait for a street light. So I'm stopped and I'm not traveling anywhere from second number 6 to second number 9. I'm just standing still. I'm not going anywhere. Then at second number 9, all of a sudden I'm traveling, and this one looks like it's going steadily. It's not curved. This one, you can see there's a curve to it. If I have a curve to it, I'm probably accelerating. If I'm going straight, I am probably traveling at a constant speed or a constant velocity. And so what I want you to do is describe the motion that the graph is telling you. That's all you're doing with those 2 graphs. You're just describing the motion, you're using the data on the plot, and you're describing that motion. So that's 2 of the plots. All right. You have 3 plots. That is force versus position. It's force versus position, or force versus mass, or force versus velocity. And what you're going to do is you're going to take that data. So I'm going to take data that's going to look a lot like that. I'm going to go to my insert. I'm going to go to my graph. I'm going to hit my graph. And we can see from that graph that there's some sort of correlation. It's not just a scatter plot. It's some sort of correlation. And what I can do in that case is I can click on my data. I will right click and I will get an add a trend line. And so I can add that trend line, and a line doesn't work for this data. I actually have to go to a polynomial, and now I've got a polynomial, and now I can display an equation on the chart. If I know what that relationship is, and we'll talk about that here in a second when we get to lecture, I know what that relationship is, I can actually read the acceleration due to gravity right off of this chart. So I'm going to actually write that down. I'm going to write this one down so when we get to the other screen, we'll be able to do it. Okay, so I've got that written down. So we'll go through that. But you're going to be doing 3 plots where you're looking for the, where you're looking to see, is there a correlation? And all you have to do is tell me whether it's a linear correlation or I've got a curve correlation. But when I get to this data, that's the one I have to find planetary data on. And I think it'll make a little more sense as you guys start working through it. And again, if you have any questions, you can go back to this video. I've got a couple of other videos that are out there to help you. And or you can say, hey, I'm struggling with this. Can you give me something to help me with? And I'm totally willing to do that. All right, so you'll end up doing a lot of graphs, and that those will go into your report. The last thing is, as you saw on that note, I want you to go to and utilize the video analysis software. So if you click open the tools and resources, all of a sudden everything's moving slow. There we go. Click on the video analysis tool. Make sure your pop-up blocker is not in the way. And you're going to get a screen that looks like this. Now, having done this a few semesters, I know that sometime, depending on the size of screen that you're in and what your screen settings are, you may or may not see these videos here already. Just scroll down on your page because they're there. They just may not be showing up on your particular screen page. You're going to do the basketball shot one. And when you click on that, it gives us that video with the basketball shot. If you click over here, you're going to get the user's manual. The user's manual is there. And basically all I want you to do is kind of play with this and give me a screenshot to show me that you've gone through this particular video. I don't need you to do any kind of analysis. I just want to see that you've played with it, because in about 2 weeks, you're going to take a video of a ball dropping and you're going to analyze it, and you're going to determine the acceleration due to gravity based on your own data. So first thing that we'll want to do is we want to give ourselves a system, and we want to give ourselves a reference point. So when you guys are doing your own videos, you may want to set up that you have a ruler in there or in your picture so that you know what the video is or the distance is. I'm going to use this door, and I'm going to make the assumption that this door is 2 meters tall, and I'm going to hit my 2 meters. And now I've actually got a scale. And I've got my system set up, and that's my scale. So my scale's actually set. So we're doing that. We've got it set. Here we go. And so we've got that system set in there. And then we're going to start with our, oops. I want to do my origin. I'm going to set this so this person is just about to move the ball off there. And I'm going to set that to be my origin. And then if I want to add my data points, basically I just go through, and you don't necessarily have to do it exactly frame by frame, but you'll go through this and you'll get data points, and this stuff will start to populate. So all I want to do is make sure that you guys can get into the software, play with it a little bit, take a screenshot of that software, and then you'll be ready to go for your laboratory. So any questions about the lab? All right, I'm going to stop recording and I'm going to go ahead and close it.
Are we